Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 between Team Zenith and LGD China. You are watching the G1 League, brought to you by Beyond the Summit, and we are casting a crucial game. It's a play-in match, essentially. You can basically ignore the rest of the series. This is now best of one. Winner gets a free paid trip to the G1 League Land Finals. Loser has to play another best of 3 and hope they can win that one, or they don't even get to go at all. I'm LD, I'm joined by Gods, and we just watched Zenith get a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, Zenith got a bit too greedy. They also gave away the one hero you can't give away, the Lifestealer. This time around, they learned their lesson. They banned it out.
Yeah, let's see what they go for here. Once again, LGD banning that Tinker. I love this. This takes Zenith out of their comfort zone, which is always getting the... I mean, just the annoying global split-pushing specialists. Sure, there's no XY, but there's plenty of other serviceable, strong Tinker players on the Zenith team, and just take it off the plate, force them to do something different. That game 1 draft, I actually think LGD were in a decent shape to take that game, at least have a commanding lead heading into the mid game, but it was the execution that really plagued them. I still didn't feel like their execution was the best in game 2. Brewmaster had the early blink, didn't get too much accomplished with it after that solo kill mid. Eventually, LGD, they found their footing, but I feel like for them, the drafts have been the strong point, the execution, not so much. And for Zenith, it's kind of been the opposite, where it's been some unusual drafts, questionable lanes, but the individual play and the team coordination has been what's pulled them through.
Yeah, the drafting is really the way Zenith have to get themselves out of game 3. The Mirana last game was dead weight, and it had nothing to do with how Miracle played. It was just, it didn't really fit with their lineup, and the hero itself, it wasn't one of those scenarios where he fits as a niche pick, and it's really got to fit in perfectly into your draft to actually be useful. In that game, LGD China just had a much more well-rounded draft, so we'll see how things go here. Nyx Assassin still in the pool, as is the Keeper of the Light LGD China had last time, and it'll be interesting to see what they go for with this first pick. Mag also in the pool.
Yeah, there's the Mag. There's even a hero like the Gyrocopter, well, it's a Yao Mag, so there you go. It was actually Long DD who played it for one of their games, so it's possible Yao won't be playing it, but that was a game where there was a Bat Rider, a really strong offlaner, and something I think that Yao's played a lot of as of late, so with that not being the case, maybe something Yao takes. We'll see how they want to lane it. Sometimes he generally has been Yao playing the offlane DDC going mid. Yes, there was the one Sylar game where he went mid on the Lone Druid, but LGD really only does that if they feel like they just have a matchup they can exploit with the Lone Druid 1v1, and we'll see if they get that particular matchup. It won't be with the Lone Druid if they do this game.
No, it won't be with the Lone Druid, so this will be no Lone Druid in this game. We don't have a Lifestealer, so your two sort of top Chinese heroes taken out of the pool. Zenith, you'd probably expect to pick the Nyx Assassin. The question is, what do they look to get with it? They like to run the Rubik quite a bit if they want to grab their other support here. Maybe we look to even go back towards the Gyrocopter, which they run in game 1 oh so well as well.
So, by the way, there is a Keeper of the Light Phantom Lancer, and I imagine that's got to be in the back of Zenith's head is, if we don't take at least one of those, we're giving that away with a Mag. And that's painful to do. So let's see if they go for it, but certainly a consideration for Zenith right now.
I think it is, but I don't think it's something which Zenith generally leave in the pool. They don't often ban out Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light has not seen a lot of bans in the G1 League. Zenith will grab it themselves, but they're not going to pick up the PL just yet. And I think going PL Coddle is not some sort of GG easy win, or it just forces your opponents to have a game plan in mind.
I think it's much scarier if LGD get it when they have the Magnus as well, because then their turtle power is immense.
Yeah, and Zenith, well, they do deny that by picking up the Keeper of the Light, but they also just get themselves a really strong, powerful support here in the Keeper of the Light. And I think Zenith are a team more likely to go for something like a Gyrocopter or a Luna than a PL, but we'll have to wait and see. Definitely, being such an important Game 3 decider, maybe they fall back on something safe like a Miracle PL.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, let's see what they go for the rest of the way. LGD, as far as the carries for Sylar, we've seen them play Anti-Mage a lot in the past. Maybe they'll go for the Shadow Demon Anti-Mage here. They will. Okay, well, I was going to talk about that, but they've already done it. So, looking at how this hero matches up against Zenith, it's really good against Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light is so sad to play against an anti-mage, because you sit at a tower. Normally, if it's a hero like a Phantom Lancer pushing, no problem. You TP behind the tower, you sit there, you spam Illuminate, you slow down the push. If it's an anti-mage, you do that, he comes and he kills you.
Yeah, and anti-mage is nice against the Nyx Assassin and the Keeper of the Light. I feel it's a strong carry here to have. You think Zenith might want to go for PL here, but I feel like they're better off going for a more aggressive style lineup with either the Luna or Gyrocopter, just because of how LGD China play. If you pick the PL, you're just playing into their hands.
And it's also an anti-mage who will have Empower later on in the game. So not only is it 5 AM, and they'll go Luna. So a similar kind of pick here. You mentioned a more aggressive carry. Luna certainly fits the bill.
Yeah, so probably Miracle playing the Luna. They could go offensive trialing with this, although I think they'll stay away from it. I think they'll look more to get Luna the sort of easy, safe lane farm. And if anything, they maybe even go for an LGD style of play where you have an offensive tri-lane and something like a Luna as your safe lane solo.
And there is, of course, a Chen in the pool, although Zenith wouldn't really have the best dual roaming combo if they went for it. Something that haven't really seen Zenith run the junglers much in the past, so it probably won't be full-on LGDN, but like you said, just the safe lane Luna. I think they could go aggressive. It depends on that third pick, but the issue is, all they can really do is pressure AM. They're almost certainly not going to find a kill against an anti-mage Shadow Demon, so if they feel like keeping him down is important, they can do that, but it will come with the trade-off that they're not going to find any kills.
Yeah, and Nyx Assassin actually not the best offensive trial hero. So if they do think of an offensive trial hero, I'd prefer to see Nyx Assassin in the mid lane. So I think if anything, we look at more standard laning coming out. Luna with some safe, easy farm. Nyx Assassin with some early levels. And then once Anti-Mage is sort of around the 10 to 15 minute mark, around when Anti-Mage is getting his Battle Fury up, that's where Zenith look to sort of take team fights, because Anti-Mage can't really team fight with just the Battle Fury up, unless we're seeing some huge 5-man RPs.
LGD is definitely anticipating an aggressive tri-lane, though, as they've banned Undying as well as Bane, two obvious choices for an aggressive tri-lane, and Bane, a very annoying harassment hero versus any carry in lane, not really because he auto-attacks you to harass, but just spams Enfeeble, and with Keeper of the Light, you can actually keep on spamming Enfeeble, so I think that's a very smart ban. They'll even ban out Juggernaut. LGD really worried about that aggressive tri-lane. Will Zenith still go for it? There is a Gyrocopter left. That would be the one other hero who we see a lot of in those tri-lanes. But against Shadow Demon and Anti-Mage, he's not really that good. When you get disrupted, your Rocket Barrage does absolutely nothing, and you don't have any sort of chase power. So again, if they do it, it's only going to be harassment in lane. It's only going to be farm denial. It won't be kills.
Yeah, it is. And LGD, they grabbed themselves a Jakiro, so they're playing, this is your traditional LGD China from, well, TI2 almost, with the Shadow Demon Jakiro supports, the Anti-Mage carry, they've got the team fight from the Magnus, and the question is, what does Zenith look to grab here? The Juggernaut ban I really like, but I think we almost look just for a standard line from Zenith. Get something like a Darkseer for your off-lane hero. If he's not going to be able to lane against Shadow Demon Jakiro, he can just jungle from level 1, and then you have your tri-lane, which can just look to completely zone out whichever off-lane LGD are going to be grabbing. LGD themselves may look for a Darkseer, because it fits in their line. They can put the Magnet mid with Darkseer on the off-lane.
I'm really curious what Zenith's going to do at this point. If they want to do something like that, they could run the Darkseer. They could even pick up a Gyrocopter as that final hero and just have the multiple carries. But I feel like they will need them, because it's an empowered Anti-Mage who will also be disrupted. So he's got 5 Anti-Mages potentially in the fights, or you get 2 extra Lunas to work with. LGD have the better late game if it's a one-on-one carry scenario. So, and Zenith, and they also have the better late game in terms of their disables. They have Demonic Purge, which goes through BKB, which Luna will be building at some point, and RP, which does as well. So Zenith can't win this with one carry if it goes late. They either go all in with a highly aggressive lineup, but like you mentioned, they're trying not the best, or they go for multiple carries and they play for mid-game for late game. They'll go Darkseer now, and I think it will be that Gyro as the final pick.
Yeah, Darkseer makes a lot of sense here. They could even put it mid, but I think more likely we just see it... I'd say off-lane Darkseer, but realistically you're not going to the off-lane against this trial. You're going straight into the jungle. Nyx Assassin can use the pools, and then... The problem is then they've sort of got both the supports, Nyx Assassin and Keeper Light, want to be using the jungle and pools as well. So they'll be kind of fighting with the Darkseer, which is the one issue, but it's better than having Darkseer just not getting any XP or farm in the bottom lane. So LGD China now, there's not many obvious heroes for the offlane here. There's
maybe a
like
Prophet?
Nature's Prophet. Yeah, Nature's Prophet does okay, but Beastmaster, so potential mag in the offlane here.
Yeah, what are they...
By offlane mag, you're not really getting much XP most likely. You're almost maybe even going straight to the jungle yourself as well.
Zenith are definitely going to win that trade. If that's what happens, they'll win it heavily, because Darkseer, well, we all know Darkseer is a beast in the jungle. Mag, not so much, especially with the mid pulls being very hard to pull off and not really common nowadays. So I feel like the Prophet might have been kind of the safer play if you want to take it late, but Zenith not going for the Gyro. It will be the DK, but a similar kind of hero, a strong mid-game competitor to the Anti-Mage. He's a little bit tankier than the Gyro. And with this pickup, they have 2 carries who will not be easy to bring down once the game goes later and later. And I think Zenith are going to have the more efficient laning phase because they have the Darkseer.
It's that secondary carry and secondary source of damage, and also a really good one for that mid-game push. The corrosive attack can give some extra damage onto towers, and he's just a really tanky hero to have. He can go for something like a pipe or a drums to give you some extra auras as well. It's a good pushing hero. And something which I think we're actually going to be seeing is Beastmaster. It's going to be DDC, maybe mid on mag, and Beastmaster can look to chop down those trees to help him with that mid pull. So that sort of it's a semi-jungle / mid-pulling Beastmaster.
Yeah, he may do some mid pulls, he may do some ancient stacking. We'll see what Zenith do. Obviously, it's common to ward off the ancient pull for a lot of these Asian teams nowadays. We'll see if they look to do that. On the side of Zenith, we will have Ice Ice Ice, Master Troll Extraordinaire, heading towards the off lane, but once he sees the tri lane, he'll probably go into the jungle, playing that Darkseer, of course. We have Yamate heading solo mid as the Dragon Knight. He really prefers the Shadow Blade build on his DK. Not right away. He'll get the boots, the bottle, but don't be surprised at all if we see that this game. X-Freedom, going to be playing that hard support, Keeper of the Light. He bought the Courier. He's got sentries as well. Ice on the Nyx Assassin with an early Smoke of Deceit. And last but not least, it is going to be Miracle, the stand-in who has been doing, for me, a fantastic job throughout this tournament for Zenith since he started standing in the last match, and now again in this series, he'll be handling that Luna.
Yep, over on the LGD China side, we have got Sylar, of course, playing the Anti-Mage, DDC on the Magnus, Yao playing the Beastmaster, Zhao Wei, the now support player on the Shadow Demon, and that leaves the new drafter, Long DD, playing that Jakiro.
Yeah, he's really been doing it for a while now, and I feel like his drafts have been pretty solid overall. Even when LGD are losing games, I would not blame their drafts for any of them. Yeah,
he's been drafting to their strengths. You just look at a draft like this, and you know he knows this LGD team well if he's picking a draft like this.
And if it goes into the late game, one thing we didn't mention is not only is there Empower, there's also Inner Beast. So, sure, it's only one carry, but it's about the buffest anti-mage you can get, outside of maybe having a Troll to give him some additional attack speed or an Ogre, but beyond that, this is as good as it gets. And Zenith, well, it looks like they will be doing the aggressive or the defensive tri-lane as expected. So both teams going to be doing a lot of jungle play, but the Ancients will not be available. Ice is going to look to ward those off the bat. Yao, no sentries on him. So even if they deward this, just burning the sentries top is going to take some time.
I would have liked to see the Beastmaster chop down the trees near mid lane and look for some pulls, especially if you get the poison creeps. It's very easy to use the mid pull. Some of them are harder to do, but you can definitely do it as a Beastmaster, and we'll probably see him, I imagine, go there right now and start chopping down those trees, because there's nothing else he can do at top lane, really, if Keeper of the Light decides to just zone him out.
Yeah, there really wasn't any reason to not do it. I mean, sure, the Ancients are probably the better way to go if you can get the Ancient stacks off, but you kill these trees if there's not an option, no problem. You just go... you go into the jungle, but, well, it's going to be a bit slower now. Instead, it looks like he'll do a little bit of stacking, and then maybe just farm them directly. Axes are one of the best jungling skills in the game, even at level 1. I mean, not as good as something like Iron Shell, but they do insane damage at level 1, and oftentimes in the past, you've seen Beastmasters choose not even to level up the axes. So I think Yao will do okay in the jungle, but, well, he misses his first stack. Yeah. That doesn't help.
He stacked it at a way too late, especially for range creep, because the range creeps don't start chasing right away. He keep hitting you, so he messes up that stack, and this is not going to be a very fast or effective Beastmaster jungle. If you're using the mid pull, you're denying some XP from Yamate, so this is, I feel, not the ideal and optimal way to be playing this, but we'll see how it works out for LGD China. They've got the two supports going for a very early smoke gang. Long DD and Zhao Wei decide we need to kill this DK and we need to kill him soon.
Courier's just hiding mid inside the trees. Looks like he wants to do some early bottle crowing, but Yamate's going to back off now. And I don't think LGD are getting this one. Oh no. This is a lot of wasted time. They're a great lineup to just do a lot of stacking and farming. You have Shadow Poison, you have Jakiro, one of the best. He's basically an AoE king as far as supports go outside of Keeper of the Light. But they missed some stack opportunities off of this, I think. And, well, maybe Xiaoyi can just get enraged for one now.
Nope,
no, he's too
late. Yeah, I thought it was going to maybe stack that.
So really inefficient start between Yao not stacking that camp initially, although he'll get a secondary stack off here in the big camp, not chopping down the trees, and now a failed smoke gank. You compare that to Ice Ice Ice, he was not only farming the small camp, he was actually farming both camps simultaneously, iron shelling the small camp and then pulling the big camp into it just to do a little additional damage. Already almost level 3, he's already killed off a lot of this big camp, he'll be killing off the small camp now. I mean, this is about as good as it gets for a Darkseer.
Yeah, and Keeper of the Light was stacking the medium camp, checking runes. Zenith, all in all, playing very efficiently, very effective Dota here. They're sharing the XP at top lane. Luna doesn't really need the solo XP. Nyx Assassin just leeching whatever he can get, because Nyx Assassin, it's probably more important to give him XP than to give solo XP to Miracle. Sure, having a fast level 6 on Luna is nice, but having some levels on a Nyx Assassin is going to be a much bigger thing here.
See, a bit of a dive mid is... No, yeah. Not a dive, just cocky play from Yamate. Considering there's a Beastmaster, but hey, he's only level 2. He's actually gone for Call of the Wild, not leveling up the Inner Beast Star early, and his skill choices will be very important in this game because he's an off-lane Beastmaster with a slow start in the jungle. Yao will not be getting many levels, so every skill he selects is a crucial skill point for him. We probably won't see him getting to level up both of those to max until like the 25-30 minute mark at the earliest, and he'll head top now, but I don't think he's getting anything out of this lane.
No, I think it's going to be really hard, especially now when you look at support heroes with levels. You've got Nyx Assassin with a level 2 Impale, Keeper of the Light, just a level 1 Illuminate, but Miracle level 4 as well. This is going to be hard for him to get any XP and farm unless the lane pushes out. He's probably more here, maybe just in case they try and push this lane, but Yao's going to quickly realize there's very little he can do up top.
Ancient's still warded off. They never even tried to deward it. They could have sent their sentries towards the top lane, and Xiaowe's just sitting on an empty pair of sentries, or an unused pair of sentries. Again, just LGD feels like not really the most efficient play. They knew the Ancients were warded off because they saw that Nyx Assassin walk up the hill, and there's only one reason he does that this early when you have a Beastmaster. It's to ward your Ancients. So they could have dewarded those. They could have killed the trees off early. A lot of things LGD could have done, not doing any of them, and they're already down 1,000 gold, over 1,500 experience, in fact. This is a very, very slow start for a lineup that does need a lot. I mean, let's be honest about LGD. Their supports need a lot of levels and farm, especially a hero like Beastmaster in the 3-roll to really have an impact later on. You at least want to get level 6 quickly. He's not even close to it right now. He'll have a big creep wave coming, but he's not going to be allowed to farm this. Illuminate will be channeled. He'll be driven back by a Lucent Beam. He won't get any experience off of that lane. Ice ushering him all the way out of tower range. Misses out on 2 creep waves, essentially. Still steady at level 2. Really smart play from Zenith, and
yeah,
this Beastmaster pick being heavily punished.
They're trying to chip away at this tier 1 top. They may get it with time. Beastmaster needs to be careful. One Impale hitting him and he's probably going to go down. He will get out of range here, but LGD trying to... They played badly this first 5 minutes. The good news is they've got the lineup with more room for error. When you've got an anti-mage and a mag, it's all you need is one big mag team fight to turn the game around, and you've got your anti-mage. That's your plan B. So I feel LGD trying, despite how bad this game started, they're behind. They've got the kind of draft which can sort of play from behind.
Yeah, and later on, a hero like Darkseer is not going to bring as much to the table as a Beastmaster or Magnus. Eventually, that vacuum wall pretty much is just going to be creating an anti-mage illusion. The damage will be fairly negligible, whereas the Magnus RP, the Beastmaster are always going to be essential skills in team fights. So these two heroes, they're going to bring a little bit less now, especially the Beastmaster, but they can bring more much later on. And hey, Yao is level 3.5. He's gotten something. They haven't fully pushed the tower. They'll actually kill off another wave now. We're seeing a backstab at this point from Ice. He's rotated top. They haven't spotted him. I don't think these observers... This observer was just deployed, and it doesn't actually... Well, I think it just missed him coming. He hasn't even used the smoke, but meanwhile... Ice gives up a solo kill bottom.
And it gets picked up by Jakiro. Luckily not the anti-mage. The question is, can LGD trying to get... Sorry, can Zenith get this retaliation gank at top lane? It looks like Yao, with the position his creep wave is in, he's not going to get caught out. They will lose this tier 1 tower in time. It looks like Luna's trying to go for it now, and... Well, I think LGD are going to be okay with giving away that tower, considering they're getting a first blood.
Yeah, Ice didn't smoke for this, and it was daytime, so you have a lot of vision into the tree line. Not easy to actually get that kill. I was surprised he didn't go for a smoke, but... You know, Ice could have just sat in the jungle and freely farmed, but thought he could slow down this anti-mage. Unfortunately, he was wrong.
Well, Luna gets the tier 1 tower at top. Luna has picked up a Ring of Aquila to get that plus armor aura, and also just some useful mana regen, some useful stats, and we'll see what item build it's going to be, whether it's a fast drums for some more pushing, or maybe just the straight BKB.
DDC, getting close to his Arcane Boot, so pretty much all of the core heroes, aside from the Beastmaster, starting to get their farm and levels up. Xiao comes in with a double damage rune. Well, he's a bit behind. No boots on him just yet. He's been buying all the Observer Wards, so he'll pick up another pair now. And they're up against the Nyx. It's 7 minutes in. It's not quite time where you need sentries, but it will be soon. And that will be a tax on their supports, who, having that slow start, will be even further pressured to afford all those additional wards.
Zenith were trying, well, they were trying, and they're still trying to bait Yamate in this mid lane. They've got the 2 supports smoked up behind him, but it looks like they've realized what was up, because Yamate was playing really aggressive with his last hitting, despite the fact he short shadowed him. And Xiao revealed himself, and then when Yamate keeps last hitting, Xiao's probably thinking, wait, why isn't he backing off? He just saw me. It's because those 2 supports were sitting behind him.
And the other reason it's obvious is Miracle's sitting top lane, and the lane's not being pulled back. If the supports are pulling, the lane goes back, but it's just sitting here, which means the supports aren't in the lane. They must be smoke ganking. So good awareness by Zenith, or by LGD.
Yeah, and LGD are getting a decent amount in return for this. Beastmaster finally getting some much-needed levels at top lane. Sylar, as always, farming away at bottom lane. He's picked up some early treads, and I like this rather than rushing the Battle Fury, because it means he can completely zone Ice out of the lane, and they can actually kill Ice if he gets too aggressive, like LGD did for that first blood. Yeah, he goes back for the treads. It does delay your Battle Fury, but it's still going to be a relatively fast Battle Fury time, because, I mean, he's free farming. He's sitting at 47 CS, but it's in. They'll go down with the Disruption, as well as a bit of a stun there, and they'll pick up a pretty easy kill, so now 2 deaths on Ice. I'm not sure why he feels like he has to be in this lane. They're getting free farm on their Luna, they're getting good farm on their DK, and the lane wasn't pushing. Sylar's not even near the tower, so just
a greedy play from Ice 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 and pays again.
Yeah, well, we haven't even seen the mag rotate yet and get involved. He's just been sitting mid, getting his early levels and farm, and he knows that just getting a Blink Dagger up is the more important thing here. They can get those kills on Darkseer with or without him, and more importantly for him, just get the farm up. Zenith are going to look for a bit of pressure on this T1 mid tower, but it's really just Yamate popping the ultimate. He's got no backup, and I feel Zenith have sort of just stagnated a bit. They're not really accomplishing a whole lot right now. Darkseer's gone up to the jungle, but he's just level 4, about to hit level 5. He could be so much higher if he didn't go bottom lane and give up those kills.
Yeah, he could easily be level 6.5, close to level 7, if not level 7 at this point. He'll start to catch up now, but he had such a powerful start, and looking at it now, he's only 600 gold ahead of your Beastmaster. Could easily be like 1,000, 1,500 gold ahead if he was just stacking freely. Maybe if he'd gone mid, helped them get a tower. There's some other places he could have potentially had an impact, but I mean, for the moment, just not finding the openings and very far behind at that.
Well, we'll have to see how Zenith look to bounce back from this. They've got the Arcane Boots build coming out from Dragon Knight, so it looks like this is more sort of a team item, because you could just be relying on the bottle for your own mana, but the fact he gets this, especially when they have a Keeper of the Light, it makes me think Zenith are going to be looking to take down quite a few early towers and really take fights before Anti-Mage gets too farmed.
Man, how different is this from the Airman Dragon Knight build, where you just entirely skip the Breathe Fire and you get lots of points in your Dragon Blood? This is Yamate maxing the nuke first, and talk about spamming it. Normally you'll see a lot of DK players, they get the Soul Ring, they get the bottle, they bottle Crow. They don't normally go Arcanes, but Yamate's one of the few that actually goes this build and just constantly pressuring the lane. Yeah,
constantly pushing the out. It forces Mag. That's the other reason we haven't seen Mag gank top or bottom lane, because he has to constantly be defending his tower. DK spamming Flame Breath every single wave, and if Mag leaves, a lot of damage can get done to this T1 tower very fast.
LGD, they have 4 heroes grouped up mid. Yao is level 6. He's actually hit it very quickly considering his start, because Zenith, they got the tier 1 top and then they backed. Generally, you don't just want to take a tier 1. You want to take both towers, and then the Beastmaster, sure he can farm, but he's way out of the picture, and you can pull the lane back, and then he's got no safety to do it if you do some pulls to adjust the creep equilibrium. They'll go for the smoke gank, they'll look for the wraparound. They'll place an Observer on the high ground, really nicely done, and now gotta find Yamate, who should be dead here with the Roar. There's an RP as well. They won't even need it. They'll just burst him down with the nuke, so well-executed gank by LGD. And I gotta say, this wouldn't have happened if they had controlled that top lane better, but trying to go mid didn't work. Then Yao got a lot of levels off of it.
Yeah, as soon as he hits levels, I think they, with a Shadow Demon Disruption initiation, to get that kill, but it's a lot harder to do, so the Raw made it nice and easy. They're going to try follow up with some pressure on this T1 mid tower, but pushing against the Keeper of Light, not going to happen. LGD trying to quickly realize that. They're not even going to keep on trying. They're going to go back into their own neutrals, back to their lane. Beastmaster's headed back top to get some more farm and levels. I imagine we see something like a Met come out of the Beastmaster this game, and then we look at Mag going for a fast Blink Dagger.
Yeah, hasn't gone Enter Beast, so it just tells you that LGD, they just want to create a little presence on the map while their anti-mage farms. They don't feel like they have to push now. If they had, say, a lone Druid as their carry, they'd probably be more aggressive with the Beastmaster build, go for, say, the Enter Beast points, and then look to push early. But their lineup is perfectly content to defend the towers and farm some more. And Sylar, he's got the Void Stone now, so only needs the Claymore to complete his Battle Fury. Looking at, I mean, what is it? Probably like a 14-minute Battle Fury at the latest, I would say, so a pretty decent time, and nobody is going to outfarm him in this game, not individually.
With Trents, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
With Trents, you're not normally expected to get a Battle Fury that fast, so Sylar's done amazing at this bottom lane.
And it's with Ice Ice coming down here twice to try and slow him down. He's outfarming our Luna. Now, even to be even at this point is all you need, because you pull way ahead of that Luna later on. And Miracle hasn't gone for Helm of the Dominator yet. We haven't seen any Ancient stacks, which is the one thing that a Luna can do to kind of try and keep the pace with an Anti-Mage, but that won't be there this game. So Sylar, he is going to pull ahead, and he's going to pull very far ahead once he starts getting powered. Really will accelerate his farm. For Zenith, I mean, it looks like an even game, but for me, I feel like the pressure is all on them right now.
Yeah, and they're going for these sort of fast teamfight items. We're going to see a drum come out on the DK, Luna with an actually, they're going for 2 drums on both DK and Luna. They'll have the mech up on the Darkseer, and then their teamfight gets pretty strong here. But I feel DK, going for both Arcane Boots and drums, he's going to have more mana than he can use, especially with the Keeper of Light on the team. It just feels like the Arcane Boots was almost a wasted investment this game.
Yeah, especially with the Keeper of the Light on the team. But I've seen Yamate, he always does this build. I mean, even if he has Keeper of the Light on the team, I've seen him do it before. So it's just his preferred build. Getting both, to me, feels excessive, especially when you already have a drum elsewhere on your team. Which I don't know if he had the other game I remember casting, but yeah.
Yeah, supports with, you've got to support Nyx Assassin with Arcane Boots. It's very, very excessive, just describes it perfectly. And right now, LGD China are going much more efficient with their item builds. We see Jakiro with Arcane Boots and an Urn of Shadows. Mag has his Blink Dagger up. Beastmaster, what's he building now? It looks like he spent a bit of gold. Mech is on the way.
Wow, is he really close to a mech already? Unbelievable. Yao failed his first stack, didn't get anything out of the top lane, was completely zoned out. We'll see a Blink RP in mid, going onto Yamate, pulling him back into a skewer. Now the Ice Path comes out, doesn't actually hit. They have to blow the Roar as a result, which is a bit unfortunate. And now RP and Roar on cooldown. So with the Dragonoid dead, the question is, can Zenith make anything happen to punish this?
Well, they can lose Ice at the bottom. They can't do anything right now.
Jesus.
They don't have aggressive heroes to punish it with. They can maybe group as 5 and push, but I don't think they can even do that, because just Shockwave spam alone will defend towers. Zenith don't have an initiate, and that's the big problem. If they're trying to push, Axe spam, Jakiro spam, Mag spam, they can't jump these heroes. If you're pushing into AoE spamming heroes, you need someone to jump them, like a blinking Mag or a blinking Batrider, and Zenith don't have that. So there's no real way they can look to push. It's hard for them to gank right now. Nyx Assassin is level 6, so maybe we can see Ice look to get more involved, but this is a very, very difficult position Zenith are in right now.
And Ice, when he died bottom, it was very close to his mechanism. So delays his mech while the Beastmaster should have his coming on the courier, like just at any moment almost, really. And that's unfortunate. Zenith's lineup was really built around just out-farming LGD, abusing the fact that they have a jungle Darkseer to pull ahead of a jungle Beastmaster who will never keep up, and then pushing that top lane, getting 2 towers, completing your core items, and then you just keep on pushing. You get the BKB on the Luna, and you just go, and you go, and you go. And sure, Anti-Mage is split pushing, but you take the outer towers faster than he can, because at this point in the game, he doesn't actually push that quickly. But in 5 minutes, he will. So Zenith slowing down that window, they're still going to push bottom. I wouldn't say they're out of it by any means, but they've made life a lot harder for themselves, especially with all those deaths on Ice. 3 now for him.
Yeah, this is the only thing they can do is push side lanes. It's a lot harder to defend the side lane towers with this long-range AoE spam because it's so easy to backstab. Zenith can't really push mid lane. They've already taken the top tier one, and they're going to keep on pushing. I think they feel like they're in a very desperate position here, and they're pushing without mech, without like some key levels as well, but they're feeling like they just have to go now. And Mag RP is back up off cooldown in 3 seconds. So
and Roar's been up, and Yao has his mech. So he actually gets the mech before Ice.
Oh, this is not what you'd expect when you think about it. A Beastmaster offlane versus a Darkseer offlane. Darkseer who is essentially jungle. This should not be happening for Zenith.
At this point, I'd rather have the Beastmaster. I mean, it's not even close. Once he hits Inner Beast, it'll be even more straightforward. Then your Anti-Mage has Inner Beast, Empower, and Disruption Illusions at his side. LGD are going to be outputting insane amounts of damage in these team fights. Sylar, he's gone for the max blink. He's taken a few points in stats, and now he'll just really accelerate his farm. Picks up the early Quelling Blade. Very efficient play. Could switch to Agility Treads, but that's the only minor quibble I have. And Xiaowei heads into the jungle. Oh, he will get spotted out. The smoke will be revealed at probably the worst possible time of his life. They look to bring down Xiaowei, but the Ice Path ushers them back. The Illuminate won't be there. A failed smoke gank from LGD, but they don't lose anyone either. They don't blow any big spells, and bottom lane, it's still Sylar pushing.
Yeah, that was some ballsy play by Xiaowei. Going up high ground with no vision. Sure, he smoked, but once you get revealed, it's like, what are you doing? You've got to get the hell out of there.
Shouldn't it be Yao in front? I feel like that's the safer play, but he's got the mech, so maybe they didn't want to risk it.
They needed a Hawk in front, because as soon as the smoke gets broken, they actually don't have vision. They don't know what broke the smoke. They don't know where the hero's position. If they have a Hawk out in front, they can at least see who's there, and then go into... They're not going into fog then. Then they can lead with a disruption, lead with a roar. But it's no real loss there for LG China, and it looks like they want to try finish off this tier 1 mid tower, although it's not going to be easy to do so.
Yeah, they are pushing into Keeper of the Life. They are pushing into Arcane Boots Dragon Knight. Unfortunately, Breathe Fire has a cooldown. And he's actually... How is he even low on mana? How is this happening?
Yeah.
He'll Arcane Boots up. He's not really that low, but...
They don't actually have to get the tower, because Anti-Mage is free farming bottom and pressuring the bottom tower. So this is just this 4 heroes mid, and it forces Zenith to have 2-3 heroes there defending, while Anti-Mage just keeps on free farming.
And there's nobody who can really punish the Anti-Mage being solo. If Zenith want to kill him, they have to send at least the Dragon Knight and the Nyx, and even then, I'm not sure if it would be enough. And if you do that, then LGD just take your tier 1, so really a rock in a hard place right now.
Yeah, Anti-Mage just going to flash farm his neutrals. He did pick up the Quelling Blade after getting that Battle Fury to help him farm faster in neutrals, and now Zenith, they're doing their best to defend this tier 1 mid tower, which is actually pretty good when you've got the Keeper of the Light there, so... LGD just sort of hovering with 3 heroes mid, and I think they quickly realize they're not... Well, they should quickly realize they're not really accomplishing a whole lot right now. They're better off getting some farm at top lane, getting some farm in their neutrals to get these next items up.
Yeah, and while that was happening, gold-wise, pretty much even. No real movement there. A slight dip towards Zenith, but nothing significant. Experience-wise, it continues to be a lead for LGD. And now this is where things get scary for the Anti-Mage. He'll have the Yasha soon. He'll have Inner Beast level soon. He'll have a Max of Power next in line, and LGD, basically, they need like 10 minutes. Let Anti-Mage farm his Manta, let him get the Vitality Booster, maybe get close to the Heart, depending if he finds any kills, or at least have the Reaver up, and then they could just start split pushing. They could even start 5-manning directly if they would like. LGD, the clock is ticking, not for them, but for Zenith to make a move, and with 4 mid and Anti-Mage bottom, where do you make that move? There's just nowhere to go.
Yeah, and you can see LGD have just been so decisive with their games. You can see where their priorities lies. They completely ignored the carry. Oh my, they found Ice. Skewer back. There is a Carapace. This could be what needs to keep him alive, but Soul Catcher Raw Axis just obliterate him. There's a Shadow Demon Destruction Fault. They're going to bring down Ice as well. And Ice. This has just not been his game.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It just hasn't been his game. Sometimes Ice comes out and he really makes your jaw drop with his amazing plays.
Yeah.
He's made my jaw drop this game, but not quite for those reasons, unfortunately. He's just a boomer bust player sometimes. Unfortunately, I mean, I think a little bit stubborn in some ways as well, and we saw it there. Kept on going back bottom when he really shouldn't have, and it's hurting them.
You can see where LGD's priorities lie this game. They've been focusing on ganking the solo heroes. They killed Ice multiple times at bottom lane and Yamate twice at mid. They now get their first kill on a support hero, but they've completely left Miracle alone. Miracle has got a BKB drums, but I don't think LGD China give 2 cares in the world right now. There's just nothing this Luna can do really to bring this game back, I feel, at least on his own. It's going to require some incredible execution and teamwork from Zenith to win any sort of a fight here.
It really will. Absolutely incredible execution. What hurts them is they don't actually have a vacuum. They don't have the wall yet. DDC, he'll be forced to scare away top lane, but no big deal. They'll actually park 4 behind Sylar. I think maybe anticipating that Zenith was going to rotate down here. They sent their Magnus to defend top, but in fact Zenith, well, even though the Roar was used there, not going to even think about getting aggressive, and realistically, without sending basically all of their key heroes to kill the Anti-Mage, they're not killing them, and soon it will take even more than that, I feel. A hero like Luna, most of her damage will come from her weak ultimate. Her ultimate won't really hurt Anti-Mage, and he can always just blink away from that, so I don't think they can kill AM. I'm not sure they can push too easily if LGD are actually defending their towers, and I don't think they have this late game. I feel like it comes down to LGD making some mistakes with their execution, and they're not making them the way they were in that game 1. Their execution has been much more polished this game, aside from that slow start in the laning stage.
Yeah, this game, I think they have a more comfortable draft themselves. Like, they were well ahead in that game 1 in the laning stage, but sort of dropped the ball. But this game, this is a draft they've just run so many times with the Anti-Mage, Mag, and it's going to be really difficult. Zenith are going to have to, like you say, hope for sort of a hero out of position, hope for some kind of mistake, and on top of that, they've just got to play some amazing Dota, which they did in game 1. They were behind by 8k gold, and right now the gold deficit is nothing anywhere near that bad. They're only behind by 1.5k gold right now. We're talking as if Zenith are out of this. They still have their openings. They've still got 2 very powerful support heroes in Nyx Assassin and Keeper the Light, both with decent levels and farm. Keeper the Light's actually... Is Keeper Light going mech? No. Let's say Keeper Light with a headdress. Yeah. But we're not going to be seeing a mech there, but it's...
Maybe a pipe.
Zenith is still well in this. It's just a matter of... They're playing from on the back foot.
Their late game is scary if they have the items on Dragonite and Luna. The issue I have is they weren't stacking Ancients earlier. They will start to do so now. We see, I think, our first or second Ancient stack of the game. Haven't really seen anyone farming these. And so a hero like Luna and DK can flash farm, but only if they're stacks, because they don't move around the map the way an Anti-Mage does. They'll smoke up now. If they get 6 slotted on the Dragonite, on the Luna, I think they might even be fine, because Dragonite's level 3 ultimate is absolutely filthy against illusions. Anti-Mage illusions will die very quickly to him, as well as to Luna Glaives, but it's so much harder for them to farm that compared to Sylar, who isn't as far ahead as you would expect, but will start to accelerate now. They're rotating in. The courier might be sniped. Shao Wei on the run. There's your Roar. Gonna hold Ice in position for the moment. The Carapace not even deployed yet. Yao dropping quickly, but a Blink RP! A DDC RP. Where's the follow-up? Is it here? They have a Mono Void. Haven't thrown it out yet. It will go. Not the best Mono Void ever. 3 heroes dead for LGD. And Zenith, they needed that big fight. They needed that opening, that out-of-position moment for Zenith, and they get it in a huge, or for LGD in a huge, huge way. They get 4. And they're gonna force the Anti-Mage to basically head for the hills, but they didn't get Sylar at the very least. He can start to push out. Zenith, I guess they go Roche, because they're not in a position to take a tower.
Yeah, it looks like they're heading in that direction here, unless they're going to get the tier 1 mid there. I think taking Roshan right here is the way to go, and even with an incredible RP, I think the Jakiro AoE spam was just a bit too slow. The follow-up wasn't there. The Mana Void, like you say, wasn't great, and LGD right now don't have the necessary follow-up damage for that RP. They're going to have to wait till Anti-Mage gets a bit more farm, and they're not really built for a head-on 5v5 fight as far as dealing out damage once Zenith have this mech up, because they can't really kill heroes fast enough.
And Zenith will have to pipe soon, so that'll be potentially your timing window where pipe is up, mech is up, Aegis is up, and they can start to push the lane. The good news for LGD is they still have the tier 1 mid, so they still have some map control. Sylar looking maybe at a tier 1 top, although I don't know if he'll get it. They could look for, if they want to defend this, they will have to TP 4 heroes probably, and, well, Sylar will just run away and farm their jungle if he does that. The glyph is popped, but they're not going to defend. I kind of like this better. You're going to have to devote too much to him, and better to take that tier 1 mid, start strangling Zenith's map control, or LGD's map control a bit. They're muscling the tower down, the Ice Path will fly, catches out Yamate. Remember, no RP, so I think no fight for LGD. Oh no, they'll lose Long DD here. He gets caught out of position. He'll probably drop. He will do so in the end. Now Yamate with the Shadow Blade, head full of steam, comes in, finds Xiao 8. Is it going to be the 1x1 pickoffs that we saw last game? The disruption is here. RP actually cooling down in 5 seconds, but it's too late. The damage is done, and Sylar, all he could do is split push top. Once again, LGD, similar to game 1, is it going to be the same story where they have this lead, but then they just get picked off too much and cost themselves the game?
Yeah, this is really weird. The one T-fight they lost at bottom lane, that was a nicely executed smoke gank from Zenith, but those pickoffs there were just completely unnecessary. We saw the Shadow Blade coming in from DK to pick off the Shadow Demon, but Jakiro, Long DD getting picked off to start things off was just entirely unnecessary. Sylar does somewhat make up for it at top lane. He gets the tier 1, gets the tier 2 down to half HP. I believe it's just, yeah, he's got his Manta style up now. So he's still farming incredibly well. LGD still, I'd say with a slight advantage, but it's not much. And they're actually behind on gold, although I do feel they are slightly ahead right now.
And it is a 1-core lineup at the end of the day, so Sylar probably will have to go BKB. Otherwise, he can be impaled, he can be Carapaced, he can be Dragon Knight stunned. Even the Luna Lucid Beams can hurt, Vacuums can be a nuisance. I think this is a game where you lean towards that BKB Butterfly combat build. If he wants to take it ultra late game, I think with Zenith having some momentum now, that's going to play into their hands, because now they'll have some space to farm, they have some safety to do so. Yamate working towards his BKB, Miracle working towards Manta, and once you get Manta, you're basically 1 item away from just scaring everyone off with Glaives. You need that, the Butterfly next, maybe the Satanic or the Helm of the Dominator into the Butterfly, and then it will be hard for some of LGD's backline heroes to even fight, so I mean, those 2 fights, sure, LGD don't lose that many towers, but that is a huge momentum swing, somewhat, as we see, reflected in the gold graph, and could be the thing that ends up really hurting them as this game drags on.
Yeah, and Luna's practically caught up to the Anti-Mage in farm. DK's up there sort of on par with the Mag, but DK a much more potent hero. Mag's all about the blink RP. Mag does have his BKB though, and that's sort of the key thing for LGD. I definitely agree that seeing something like a BKB come up from Sylar could be well justified if LGD China want to play a more sort of a team fight style play of Anti-Mage, and right now it looks like they may need to do that.
I mean, if you want to go the other route, the other option is what Burning normally favors, which is going Heart, Butterfly, just maximum late game potential if you're not being stunned, but Zenith have a lot of ways to punish that. Blinding Light will be a nuisance. Even a thing like Monolith can be if you've already used your Mansa style, and as mentioned, all the stuns, so it's honestly kind of a gamble to take it that direction. Zenith, confident, gonna push this tier 2 top, and I don't know if LGD have the position to fight this.
They're going to be trading tier 2s right now. Sylar's just going to go for a counter push. And I think they sacked this tier 2, and they should be getting this tier 2 mid unless we see a TP coming in from Yamate.
Yeah, it's dead.
They're trading towers. I think this is okay for LGD.
And in the end, the tower will fall mid. Yeah, LGD, it's also a tier 2 top, so it's not really an important tower. Sylar can even look to get a tier 1 bottom. And there's no glyph, so he'll just bring this down really quickly. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not yet. He's going to steal their H-hits. Oh, that really hurts. If he gets this and the tier 1, this will be huge. But here comes the potentially huger thing. It's the bait back and then run back in. A little loop-de-loo here for Zenith. They'll find one. They'll find Long DD. He'll eat an Impale, but Magnus will 10-second BKB. Run away. An expensive 10-second BKB, but he gets out. Now Sylar will definitely take the tier 1. Zenith maybe looking at a tier 2 push mid. Actually, no, he won't. We'll see a TP from Yamate.
Yamate had a stun on that mag, but he either hesitated or was maybe looking for someone else to stun. He could have stunned, but the BKB came out. Yamate was in range and could have stunned earlier. Chose not to, but there we go. Anti-Mage BKB. I like it, and this is the right way to play this.
It feels like LGD just aren't having really the clear decision-making in game, right? This is a team that, I mean, they took it late against... Remember that when IG was in the Face Rush era? LGD, they didn't even get picked off once last time in the G1 League LAN Finals. And this team, how many times have we seen them get picked off? The tier 2 was dead. There wasn't really much to defend top lane, but they forced out a 10-second BKB. They almost lost the Magnus, like you were suggesting. He might have died if the Dragon Knight stun was quick enough there. they're giving so much space to Zenith. I feel like the majority of these deaths really are avoidable, and I mean, you got to wonder what's going on with the team communication. This is a team that we expect so much from as far as their defensive play and decision making, because that's really their strength, but we're just not seeing it this game.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they look to transition. The good thing going LGD's way is they're not falling too far behind. Their supports are doing okay. You're going to see 4 stuffs coming up on both Long DD as well as Zhao Wei. Long DD fairly close to his especially. Just 50 gold away, and DDC with a completed BKB. They've got the couple BKBs up. They're going to be careful. This next fight is going to be so crucial for them.
Yeah, BKB's up on Yamate, so lots of heroes all getting crucial teamfight items. They might catch out Ice Ice Ice. He's been the problem spot for Zenith. A vacuum will catch too. There's your wall. Not a problem here. Illuminate comes through. DDC, no BKB for you. He's dead. Yao's on the run. Now out of range for the Eclipse, which is only hitting creeps. A nice path will make that Eclipse completely wasted in the end. But Yao is now being slowed. He's being kited. He's being brought down. And on the backside, it's Sylar who's here, but he's back at the base because without their mag, without their Beastmaster, there is no fighting. Beastmaster has buyback, but I really don't think he wants to use it. Zenith are going to get yet another good fight going their way. And it was that vacuum that started it off. They never got off the BKB because the stun came for the Dragon Knight right after. Fantastic execution by Zenith.
Yeah, great execution by Zenith. They couldn't see what was coming as well. LGD needed Gem for this Nyx Assassin, but they're just getting caught out. And this Shadow Blade pickup from DK has been paying dividends.
Yeah, I was actually going to question it earlier because it looked like LGD were just going to play safe and solid, and then 5-man later. And Shadow Blade doesn't help you versus that kind of lineup, but they found the openings. They continue to poke at LGD's weak spots, and now LGD really starting to slip behind here. 4K gold behind, 2.5K experience behind. Zenith are playing Zenith Dota, and they're making it work.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the Shadow Blade actually does well against defensive line because it gives you the pickoffs. It's your initiation. That's what... When your opponents are getting BKBs and playing defensive, Shadow Blade's a really good item because you catch them by surprise, you stun before they BKB. And that's really where this Shadow Blade on DK can be so effective. It got the pick off on Mag before it could pop the BKB. And LGD, they need to make sure they're the ones initiating, because if they get initiated by a stun on a Mag or Beastmaster, that hero gets taken out. So they're going to go for a smoke kick and try and become the initiators themselves.
Yeah, and they have such a great initiation. This looks to be a lot of trouble for Yamate, who will be purged. He'll try to TP out, but no chance of that. A blink in, but BKB Sylar's here. There's your RP. Catches out too. Mana Void could be here. It's not even used yet. Yamate's still on the run. One more hit for death. He'll die. They got 3. Oh, they probably got 3. As our... Well, Long DD's on the run currently. On the other side, it's going to be Sylar still chopping away. That 10-second BKB does work. The Aegis actually just wore off, I believe. And now a triple kill for Sylar. Ice, Ice, Ice. Ultra kill for Sylar. The combat build pays dividends. Luna buyback. What could she accomplish? I think Yamate bought back as well. Double buyback on the carries. And they get nothing off of it. Roshan wasn't even back up for 2 minutes. Oh, that hurts. Oh, how the tides have turned.
Yeah, really nice fight from LGD. They put so much into killing the DK. You can see the power of the DK. He pops a BKB. Even though LGD have both Raw and Mag RP on him, it still takes so long to kill him because of his armor. He's sitting on 23 armor right now. Anti-Mage alone does not do enough damage to kill him with physical damage, but LGD China just had such a great initiation. They got their ultis off, and Zenith just got completely caught with their pants down.
And the thing was, Nyx blinked in there for what could have been an absolutely devastating 2-hero impale, but the BKB was there from Sylar. Without that BKB, he probably has a Reaver instead, and the fight goes much differently. But you can really see the power of the BKB as a combat item, especially versus Zenith's lineup, where it's lots of stuns, but nothing that goes through magic immunity. A huge fight for LGD. Still a game that really could go either way. A game that hangs more in the balance than either of the previous 2 we've seen. Hell, game 2 was over in 20 minutes, so definitely more than that one. But it's all up in the air at this point, and this next Roshan, it's all going to come, if not all come down to that, it's going to really shift the tides once again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things progress here. And we're going to be seeing LGD China have shorter and shorter durations on these BKBs as things are going. Anthony's still with 9 seconds. Mag, he's at 8 seconds now, but as we get to late game, these BKBs are shorter and shorter, and that's going to play into Zenith's hands here. Aghanim Scepter actually to pick up for Darkseid, so if he makes sure he gets an illusion of this Anti-Mage, those illusions do a lot.
I heard him.
Wow, that was very preemptive.
Oh, I was trying to find the BKB there.
I think DDC scared him, or someone... They were throwing Shadow Poisons and Shockwaves at mid lane, and Yamate jumped the gun a bit there.
Little jumpy. Well, who can blame him after some of the last points where he's gotten picked off?
Absolutely, and... Well, Zenith, they're going to play a bit safe here, and they really need to, considering their buybacks on Kuhn, because if they lose a fight, they could potentially just lose the game right there, because LGD can just go straight mid, at least lose a set of Raxes, so they need to make sure they're not losing fights in the next couple minutes, And the problem is Roshan is coming up now, and if there's a team fight around Roshan which Zenith lose, it could be disastrous.
Of course, same going the other way. If Anti-Mage dies, has to use buyback, can't get the Aegis. I would say
it doesn't lose you the game though. For Zenith, it loses them the game.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. And another thing that's interesting, Sylar never got the tier 1 bottom. He definitely could have, but it's still up, which gives Zenith just a little more comfort zone on this bottom lane. In terms of map control heading into the Roshan engagement, they'll have multiple avenues to TP in, cut heroes off for trading either direction, and, well, they'll get that tier 1 now, potentially. There is a glyph. I don't think Zenith will contest this. They're rotating that way, but it's not even worth it.
They're going to go on. They've got the Hawk scouting things out. Hawk's going to now spot 3 heroes, I believe. I think they've probably spotted both Nyx and Keeper of the Light.
And they ping the Nyx.
Oh, they saw the heroes on the left side as well. Hasted Yamate with Invis.
And Yao's waiting. Yao's got the gem. He's going to spot Yamate out. He's not going to go yet. He's waiting. He's waiting. But there's the BKB. It comes off. There is an RP available. Not being used. Xiao 8 defensively disrupts himself. Sylar jumps in. They want Yamate. They want Yamate. They RP him. They bring him down. And now they go into more. There's no buyback on Yamate. There's no buyback on Miracle. That's 2 heroes down the drain. Ice potentially on the run. No, not going to die, though. There's no Blink Skewer, but yeah, no buyback on either carry and Roche coming up right now. That's an Aegis for LGD. That's probably your next big item for Sylar, who will now have his Butterfly, and that just might be the Rex.
Well, they've got 40 seconds to do this. They're going to go for Roshan instead, it looks like. Butterfly is up, like you said, on Sylar. He actually backed off just to go by that. I think they decide they're not going to be able to get Raxes fast enough. Maybe they get a tier 3 tower, but if they're not getting Raxes, it's better to get an Aegis right now, because this next team fight's going to get even easier, and they could still go for at least a tier 2 bottom. They've still got 30 seconds to play around with here.
And it might not be Rex now, but it's probably Rex soon, if LGD execute properly. With the Shadow Demon Anti-Mage, you could just siege. Just disrupt him, throw out the 2 illusions for the Manta style, and then back the hell off, let the illusions work on the tower. And Zenith, they don't have enough physical damage yet to quickly kill off illusions with evasion. There's no MKB on the Luna. She's only sitting on a Manta style. And your DK, the splash will actually hit the illusions as long as you don't target them. No chance to miss there, but still, not really that much damage. So I think LGD could just slow siege this once the RP's back up. And if they play it correctly, there's not going to be a whole lot Zenith can really do about it.
Yeah, the big problem with Anti-Mage getting these Butterfly up means he can actually kill heroes during BKB. When DK pops BKB or Luna pops BKB, if they get RP'd or Roared, they will die. In the past, before when Anti-Mage only had Battle Fury and Manta, that wasn't always the case, but now the damage is mostly there. You get Empower as well. You have the Inner Beast coming from Beastmaster to give even more attack speed. So the physical damage is there, and we're seeing LGD get stronger and stronger as time goes on. For Zenith, this next 5-10 minutes is going to be very difficult and challenging for them. They're going to have buybacks now, which is going to be what can keep them in the game, even if they lose a fight, though.
It could be. Depends on how the fight goes. If you lose, say, your Nyx Assassin, and your Darkseer wall isn't placed in the correct location, doesn't matter if he buys back. He's probably already blown his vacuum anyway, and once Anti-Mage gets on those racks, there's only so much you could do, so the buybacks could come into play, but I don't feel like Zenith has that kind of lineup where, oh, you buy back, your mag didn't use RP, great, you can go and defend your racks. It's not necessarily going to be enough. It could be. It definitely could be, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, and if this game goes on, I imagine Mag's next time is going to be that refresh orb now that he's got the BKB, although priority number 1 is still going to be buyback. If you can buy back and win your team a fight, it's well worth having that gold. So Zenith have to play very careful, but LG at the same time will do something similar here. Even with this Aegis, they don't want to be... If having 2 lives on the Anti-Mage doesn't guarantee them a good fight, because we've seen DK, Yamate, he's always looking for this mag to try to stun him before he pops the BKB or the RP, but the problem is he's got to... There's also the Beastmaster rule, so he needs to get one of those 2, and someone else has to deal with the other one. On top of that, there's a Shadow Demon Disruption. So if he stuns one of them, they could just get disrupted and kept alive.
Let's see how LGD executes this. Will Sylar just go up onto the racks by himself? Will they save the disruption? It looks like that's how they want to play it. They'll pop the Manta. Shadow Demon will sit quite far back. Ooh, it's an Illuminate. No, they're going to siege with 5 AM, so not even saving the disruption. Just look at that tower melt. There's no glyph. It's dropping fast. They need a blinding light here. Unfortunately, I think it's on cooldown right now. The tower falls uncontested. The wall is dropped. Not really the best wall. Sylar fighting a couple of illusions off. I mean, not even the best. Let's be honest.
He just, like, 2-shotted his own illusion. I don't know how he killed that. There's your RP. Just on Yamate. Yamate out of mana now. The BKB Sylar used very preemptively. They need to bring down Yamate. They're not going to succeed in doing so.
But there's no wall. And I feel like, I don't know if they can fight this without that. The RP is on cooldown, but their racks are dropping quickly. LGD want to get this and get the hell out. There's a 2-hero pair. There's a vacuum, but where is the follow-up? It's Yamate back at base, not even here. They're trying to Rax bottom lane while this is happening with the Luna. Yao's gonna drop. BKB isn't pulled down for the anti-mage, blows one up with the ult. Looking for ice, might get him as well. He will. Gem has been passed around like a hot potato this fight. In comes Miracle. He got bot Rax. He wants Sylar. He'll get him once, but can he get him twice? His BKB is down. His ultimate is down. Sylar may be looking at 2 lanes of Rax right now. I think that's what you do if you're LGD. Sure, you traded 1, but now if you get 2 or even 3, that's gonna be game.
They need to, because that trade that Zenith got was a great way of defending it. So the problem is now they can't really defend this mid lane. They couldn't defend top lane without Luna, but Luna made a great decision going for the counter Raxes. Question is, can Zenith keep these mid Raxes alive? It doesn't look like it. They're going to trade 2 Raxes for 1 set. I still think it's the best possible trade Zenith could have got, but it's going to be so difficult to play from here on out.
Yeah, and if you're LGD, you can probably take that tier 2 on the way out if you want bottom lane. We'll have to see if they go for that one.
And Sylar, 7.6k gold. That's
Abyssal.
a freaking heart. Or Abyssal, Assault Crest, whatever you may want.
Yeah, I mean, a heart is actually a decent item this game because Zenith will start to have a lot of physical damage, but you just want to maximize the effectiveness of that BKB usually when you go this build, and well, Abyssal will do that. That's how they could bring down the DK, even if he pulls off his BKB. I still felt like Sylar was having a lot of trouble killing him, even though they got him low. They just couldn't finish the job because the Mana Void doesn't affect him. You get the mini stun, you don't get the damage, but we'll see. Buyback Boots of Travel and then an item is all available for him.
Yeah, I'd be really interesting to see what he gets here, but either way, I think it's more just the fact getting a new item is going to be a big, big deal. And the entire LG team, when you get 2 sets of Raxes, that's a lot of gold going their way. If Vlad's gets picked up by Jakiro, you have Beastmaster with... actually goes for the Ghost Scepter, doesn't complete his Aghanim Scepter. Mag, 4.6k gold, starting his Refresh Orb, picks up his first Oblivion Staff, but probably not going to buy the complete Refresh Orb while he can still have buyback. Oh no, he's going all out. He doesn't even want buyback. No, he sells the recipe. Changes his mind.
DDC having a little loop-de-loo of his own here. Sylar is going to be the Abyssal. Basher's picked up. We'll see the Sacred Relic coming next, and really the ultimate combat build for a BKB anti-mage is what Sylar's got at his disposal now. The amount of damage that an anti-mage puts out, even without getting Empower, because you won't have that when you're BKB'd, is absolutely filthy. And it will be an Inner Beastar affecting him on top of that, so don't be surprised if DK instantly dies to an Abyssal Blade proc, maybe 1 bash, and just auto-attacks.
Yeah, and at this point I feel Yamate needs his next item. He's been buying back too much. He's been dying in the last few fights, and as a result, we're not seeing that Assault Cuirass or whatever it may be, the Heart of Taras, whatever DK's next item up, he needs it now, but it's not there. It's only Luna who's doing damage in these fights.
Holy crap, Sylar is fat. And he's even got, I think he's even got the buyback. I don't think he'll Boots of Travel. Oh, he's definitely got buyback. I don't think he's the Boots of Travel buyback, though. But they'll go on the Rax now. Remember, he doesn't have Aegis this fight. But he's also, well, his team's on the back lines. There's not going to be a Rax trade this time around. They'll go in onto Sylar. A beautiful vacuum is there, but no follow-up, really. The ultimate is popped by Luna. Now the Roar going on to Miracle will be 4-staffed away. Is it enough? No, it's not. RP on 3, and death and destruction will follow. Now Yamate on the run. Yamate being bashed, being bullied, being focused down. I think he actually needed an Abyssal proc there. Not dead just yet. Now gets the stun up on Sylar. The buyback comes out from Luna as well as the Darkseer, and with those buybacks, as well as a 4-hero on Vacuum, maybe they defend this. I don't know. Sylar's still on the run. Will he actually commit? He hits the secondary stun. Oh no, he thought he could fight. He might have been wrong. He'll blink away. I don't think they get him, but looks like they'll get Yao as well. Yao is low. He'll eat an Illuminate. He drops the gem. He denies it, but not before he goes down. Sylar to escape. They defend the Rax when it's all said and done. Tower only brought down to deny range. They did have to use another fresh wave of buybacks, but hey, they hold on.
They killed 4 for it. I mean, at this point, Zenith knew they'd have to use buybacks for that defense. That's why they had that gold there. They were willing to throw away their lives to defend, and they succeed in doing so. That trip to the LAN finals is up for grabs here in this Game 3 decided, and Zenith are not giving up without a fight.
Yeah, who wants it more? Who can taste it right now? Ice, he said he thought it was 50-50 between them and IG, even with Miracle standing in. Well, if it was 50-50 versus IG, you got to imagine he was confident his team could take this series, as IG has been easily the strongest team in the world. They actually win that fight. They're smoked up near Roche. They're going to look to go. They did lose a gem on the side of LGD, and that could be huge, because that means the Nyx Assassin, as well as the Shadowblade DK, might get the jump on them this time. LGD, no gem on their side.
They're going for the big YOLO plays. Divine Rapier coming up on Luna, I want to say. And it could be going MKB for the Butterfly Anti-Mage, but this to me looks like a Divine Rapier.
Yeah, casual Talisman Evasion isn't bad. They're going into the base. Can they get that opening? Remember, no gem. There's no sentries. I think I've seen this movie before with LGD, and I don't like how it ends if Sylar gets chain stunned, but there's the disruption, and I think the jig is up now. They'll have to run. There's your BKB Anti-Mage chopping through Miracle. DDC jumps in. RP on 2. They bring Miracle down. Remember, no buyback on him, no buyback on our DK. They're just getting ripped apart right now, one by one. They didn't have the sentry, but what they did have was the Shadow Demon on the back lines. And if they hadn't had him, I think that might have been Zenith's fight. But with no anti-mage kill off the bat, no chance.
It's amazing how LGD are like in perfect position and grouped up together in the right way, even in their own base.
At their base.
That was like one of the most unexpected smoke ganks you could at this point of the game, because there wasn't a creep wave pushing through bottom. Zenith just wanted to smoke in, pass the creep wave, and look for some pickoffs. If they killed 2 or 3 heroes, they could maybe look to sort of take another say Raxes, take another team fight. But LGD China were just on the ball here, and now Zenith have going to have to defend without Luna, without Darkseer. Darkseer no buyback, and this is where it may be good night for Zenith.
And Sylar has he's got Boots of Travel buyback at this point, so even if they kill him once, they got to kill him twice. I think if you're LGD, you take this Rax. If you want to play it really safe, you can even go back for Roche. He'll bring down the tower. There's no glyph. There's no real way out. Homonali can force staff him. X-Freedom doing whatever he can to hang on. X-Pinoy doesn't seem like it'll be enough. And now, well, they're going to get 3 lanes of Rax, so with that, it's probably the game. So LGD China, all but assured at this point. In fact, let's just say it. They're assured. They're going back to the LAN Finals. Your G1 League Season 4 champions now staking their claim to a potential G1 League Season 5 candidacy.
Oh yeah, they want it bad, and it looks like they have got it. Zenith are going to try fight their way to the bitter end, but unless they had that Divine Rapier right now on Luna for this defense, you're not fighting up against Mega Creeps, and it looks like LGD China have, I'd say, caused a small little upset. I think Zenith, a few people would agree, would be slight favorites. Maybe not with Miracle as a stand-in, but boy, has Miracle played fantastic for them.
You really cannot question Miracle's play. Maybe you can say what we talked about earlier, which is he's played fantastically, but maybe he just doesn't fit the Zenith lineup the way that XY does. Just a different kind of player. More of, generally, your 4 protect 1 carry. Not as much of sort of an aggressor. We'll see a blink in. Our final fight happens, and well, it's ice. Just melts. No Abyssal even needed. Just the first hit bash. Now, the Abyssal comes out. They bring down the Dragonite. The vacuum wall does basically nothing. Everybody's still at full HP in the middle of it. LGD, they take the fight. They take the game. They take the series. And on that note, they earn a trip to the LAN Finals once again for the G1 League Season 5. What a performance from these boys.
Well, you asked for an 80-minute epic Game 3. We didn't quite get that, but we got ourselves a pretty great way to end this series. It was pretty back and forth. It was actually Zenith who, once again, came back from a bad laning stage. LGD, all 3 games, won the laning stage, but this game, it looked like it'd be similar to Game 1. Zenith bounced back. They had a few good fights. They had DK starting to sort of snowball, but Anti-Mage came into play, Mag hit a few big RPs, and then LG China were just back in action.
At the end of the day, it's what you said, which is this was the comfort zone for LGD China. This is their bread and butter. The Sylar Anti-Mage, having the Mag on their team, even if it's not Yao playing it, but DDC played a great Mag at that. Having the great late game support in the Shadow Demon, playing defensive Dota, knowing that as long as they don't throw too many fights, they'll have it late game. And ultimately, Zenith found some openings. Give them a lot of credit for that, but just not enough. So on that note, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's G1 League broadcast, but we're not done just yet. Taking a quick look now at our brackets. Because of this win, LGD China, they qualify. Zenith now drop down. They will await the winner of LGD International versus Team DK. I cannot believe that we're actually getting rid of 2 of these teams. LGD International, DK, and Team Zenith. Only one of them goes to the finals. That really boggles my mind.
I feel like these 6 teams should like all be there, but it's not TI3. We don't get to see the top 16 teams in the world. We're only going to have 6 teams in total at the LAN Finals, so it's going to be cut down. 4 from Asia. We'll have 2 from Europe and America, but right now, I'm really excited to see tomorrow's match.
Yeah, LGD International versus Team DK. DK has not looked that great as of late, but neither is LGD International. Both of these teams, they've had a lot of hype around them in the past. LGDN, obviously heading into the G League Finals, had all the hype in the world, but haven't really delivered on that as of late. Can they force it their way into this qualifying match? Can they make it in to join their Chinese brethren? We'll start to find out the answers for that tomorrow, but for now, what we know is LGD China are going to the G1 League Season 5 LAN Finals. Team Zenith have to fight their way in. They've got another best of 3 ahead of them. That will happen in 2 days' time. Tomorrow, it's LGDN versus Team DK. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I'm LD. He's Gods. If you enjoy our casting, you can follow us on Twitter. Twitter.com/LGD LD Dota, twitter.com/BTSGods for him. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll start a rebroadcast shortly, but for now, that's going to wrap it up for today's coverage of the G1 League. I'm LD, he's Gods, and we're signing off.